There's no secret. Our San Diego real estate market has been on a tear for the past few years. This market is insane. We have never seen anything quite like this before, and every agent that we talk with is saying the same thing. Buyer and seller clients have been asking all the same questions over and over, and here is what they are. Are we at the top of the real estate market here in San Diego? When will the housing market crash in California? Should I sell my house right now? And should I buy a house in 2022? Well, let's answer all of these questions today. And in this process, I'm going to share with you some insight you may not even have considered. Hey, my bet is by the end of this video, you have a better understanding of the market, even more than most of the realtors here in San Diego. And here's a little insider tip. Most of the realtors in San Diego are not closing deals. There's just not enough business to go around. Pay attention. We've got a lot to cover on this one. Welcome back to the channel. I am Lynnor Anderson, one half of a father and daughter realtor team right here in San Diego. We've been very fortunate. We've helped over 1,000 families realize their dream of home ownership here. Lyle got his license back in May of 1983. So next month or so, it's going to be like 39 years. 20 years later, I got mine in 2003. Lots of experience between the two of us. Let's just say we've seen some stuff through the years. So as market conditions are changing, we've always tried to stay ahead of the curve, giving our clients solid advice, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. Right now, we are in a time of uncertainty. Everyone is feeling it. It's not just you. We get it. We want you to make intelligent decisions about your real estate investments, and you're going to need some help. So be sure to reach out to us. Just give us a call, a text, or an email. We'd love to help and answer all your questions. That way, you're armed with facts and knowledge. So let's start with that first question. Are we at the top of the real estate market here in San Diego? If we had a chart of the real estate market for the county for the past several years, well, it would look like this. Across the county, we are seeing a strong seller's market. Extremely low inventory is everywhere. So properties are selling at or above list price, prompting bidding wars with buyers, waiving contingencies, and even waiving their appraisals when they are getting loans. The lack of inventory is driving up the market so high, but we are, however, within the past few weeks, starting to see a change. At first, I could not believe it, but the numbers don't lie. Looking at some of these higher end communities of San Diego, we're starting to see a shift. In Del Mar, you still have indicators of a seller's market, but that gauge is just under 50%. As of Tuesday this week, there are only 16 homes on the market in that 92014 zip code. Just south of Del Mar is La Jolla. The change is even more evident. The gauge is more towards an even market at 41%. That's indicating a slight seller advantage. The La Jolla zip code has held steady with around 60 homes on the market. It's similar to what they had last month. Well, let's take a look at more exclusive neighborhood of Rancho Santa Fe. Here's where you're going to find that gauge hovering around 32%. This number tilts the pointer to a buyer's market with 47 homes on the market in Rancho Santa Fe right now. Think about groceries, shipping costs, delivery drivers. Millions of families are going to feel the painful effects of high gas prices and inflation. Now, couple that with rising interest rates, and you're setting up for a very painful effect on the housing market. I know it's hard to believe that we're seeing our top price markets no longer pin in a seller's market. It's been that way for so long. Yeah, we're in early spring right now. We should see some more inventory in the form of listings all come into the market over the next few months. See, when we take a listing with the seller, we're telling them selling your property right now, that's the easy part. The real question is, where are you going to move to? What is the game plan after this property sells? Hey, if an owner tells us that they're moving out of the area to a more affordable spot, no problem. But if they're not, well, we may have a problem. People's salaries have not kept up with the fast pace with these home values. And the truth is, most people couldn't afford to buy back their own home right now, let alone move up into a more expensive home. If you're going to couple that with the inflation and our rising interest rates, suddenly our market's about to get really interesting. We find that it is essential to stay on top of the current events, considering we're advising people about buying and selling some of the biggest assets that they own. And my wealthiest clients are calling with concerns. We're teetering on the brink of a world war. Our country does not have a solid energy plan, and we're asking other countries to increase oil production. The cost of goods and services are rising. Energy prices have doubled in some places. Yes, these wealthy clients have enough funds to weather any storm that's about to come. But they also know that the housing that they're providing to lower income families could become an issue. Consider this. The guy who runs a landscaping crew for a minute. You know, he was relying on the gas to get his trucks to work, right? Well, if that guy can no longer afford to fuel his trucks, he's not going to be able to work, and neither can his crew, and they can't pay rent either. And that's a problem that's going to affect more than just that specific family. And that's just one example. There's going to be a breaking point where people are no longer able to afford to move up or even buy. And the high prices that we're seeing right now will not sustain themselves in that environment. So yes, based on the charts that we track and the current events that we're all living through, I'd say we're at the top or near the top of the market. Hey, I believe it's more than a coincidence when those same wealthy clients call and they are all worried. They're telling us to list their properties as soon as possible, that they are concerned about the economy and the market in this year. So on to question number 2. When is the housing market going to crash in California? Let me check my magic 8-ball. What was it? My sources say no. But I'm no fortune teller. I can't tell you what's to come. I can only rely on my own observations. Our state has a surplus in the budget, and I've heard a large part of that is due to the taxes on the real estate sales. However, instead of acting upon the housing crisis in a smart way, powers that be up in Sacramento are passing bills like the SB 9. They're moving the responsibility to the homeowners. That bill allows owner-occupied properties to add ADUs to their lots. From what I've read, the impact for that is going to be minor for helping with this housing crisis. Focus should be on building affordable housing and reducing the cost and red tape for the builders to do that. I've also heard that San Diego has some of the most expensive building costs in the entire nation. There needs to be a major shift and focus on how to ease the housing crisis, not just putting a Band-Aid after Band-Aid on it. As a result, we have a shortage of property and we have more people who no longer want to live here. I used to say it'd take a major event like a war or a crash in the market to bring down prices. Seems we have that right now. We have survived a worldwide pandemic, yet we are still in a heavily inflated market. So the beat goes on. And that brings us to questions number 3 and 4. Should I sell my house right now? And should I buy a house in 2022? Well, we're going to help answer both of those questions for you. Potential sellers, if you're selling your primary residence, I want to give you a quick tax fact that you need to consider. In fact, we just got off the phone with some clients explaining the same thing to them. If you're married, you can sell your primary residence and walk away with up to $500,000 tax-free. Hey, if you're single, it's half that, or $250,000 tax-free. Your realtor should run an estimated net sheet for you. If your net proceeds exceed those amounts, plan on paying taxes. The amount above these two limits is subject to capital gains taxes. As prices continue to go up, so does your tax liability. Back to that phone conversation with our clients. They bought back in 2018 for just a tad over $1 million. They plan on moving out of state to a more affordable area. If we list their home, we're looking at a sales price around $2 million. Nice profit, right? In just 5 years. The problem is they didn't factor in the tax liability of over $500,000. Luckily, our clients put in about $150K in improvements, and these capital improvements are going to help offset that tax liability. They checked with their accountant. After the regular cost of sale, they're looking at about $140,000 to $160,000 in tax liability. In their case, list, sell, and move, and do it as soon as possible. As the values continue to rise, their tax liability is going to go up as well. We know that they're going to get top dollar for their home right now. There's nothing like it on the market in their neighborhood. So how's that song go? Take the money and run? Let's look at the buyer side of this equation. Are you considering buying in 2022? The way I look at it, it doesn't really matter if you're buying your first place or if you're a move-up buyer. If you're buying with a long-term hold strategy right now, go for it. There is no other way to say this. It is absolutely brutal out there for buyers right now. Yes, you quite possibly are buying at the top of the market. But as I said earlier in this video, nobody has a crystal ball. See, we don't know if there's going to be a crash or just a correction. I don't gamble, and I certainly do not gamble with my clients' future. I work with what we know right now. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing happen to a lot of clients in the past few years, the folks who are waiting till prices drop are being priced out of the market. With each closed sale, prices are increasing to the last sold price, sometimes higher. Like I said, the market is brutal for buyers. And the buyers that are waiting for that drop may never be able to buy a home in San Diego, even if the market makes an adjustment and not a crash. Remember how I said that the rates are going up? With increasing rates, your affordability factor goes down. So if you can afford to make your move right now, do it. If you're buying your first place, get approved for financing first. Also, get a seasoned agent that's going to help you through the whole process. Make sure that they've closed a lot of transactions and they know how to structure your offer to get it accepted. If you're considering moving up and buying, get a seasoned agent as well, and a lender, and have them run the numbers. Figure out if you can afford to do that move up buy. Remember now, it's a long-term hold strategy. It's no fixing and flipping right now. Think 10-year or more hold. Things change for people when they own their own home. Holidays and get-togethers with families and friends at your place. Memories are made and pride of ownership happens. It's all good things. I told you there'd be a lot of info to cover, and I may not have answered your specific question. Like I say, give us a call, let's talk. Helping over 1,000 families with real estate here in San Diego, we've seen a lot of different situations. Gaining experience, expertise, and knowledge that you're going to be able to put to use. So like I said, call, text, or email to get in touch with us. We promise to give you honest guidance. And if you're ready to buy or sell, we're here to help. We're here to make it smooth and successful for you. Right now, there are a few other videos popping up on the screen. Be sure to check those out. And if you like the video and the information that we're providing, please give us a thumbs up. If you want more information about the San Diego real estate market, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.